Two teams who have never faced off before now come head to head, looking to play in that coveted grand finals match, which is just around the corner tomorrow. Weed Stomp on Land and Band, by the way, will compete in this today's semifinal match. A best of 5, first of 3 wins in order to either move on or be knocked out. Both teams themselves coming off of a clean 3-0 from the quarterfinals yesterday. Weed Stomp on Land kicking out Los Muertos with a 3-0, and of course, Band, by the way, the first game going off at 7:45 yesterday, taking out Deadlock Gang as well with a 3-0 victory. But before we get into the awesome stats and the players themselves, I am MrAlan. Along with me is Leo. How are you?
I'm great, MrAlan. I hope everybody here is finding themselves really, really a nice night, and hopefully we'll have really nice, entertaining matchup for you guys tonight.
I'm hoping it's a close one as well. And of course, behind the scenes, we have Vive refereeing and Direboyd clicking all the buttons so you can see that silky smooth stream. But a little bit on the teams themselves. Weed Stomp on Land. They thought themselves a little bit of the underdog, despite their 20-4 record early on. They described their coaches as one-tricking coaches, a Mercy and a Genji, which the Genji does play now and then. But hey, they found themselves to build up over the time and over the stages. They've really proved to themselves that they can go the distance, being that number 1 seed and coming in with that strong 20-4 record. And of course, they have the players to back up that record. Could you give me a few there, Leo?
Of course. One of the things I most think about when I think about We Stomp on Land is actually their support line. Out of the Can and Luna are definitely one of the best players of this team as a whole, because they give opportunities for their tanks and pocket their DPS set up plays. It's really understated how much supports are valuable to a team, and since they rarely die and are always in really nice positioning, it gives this team the benefit. And obviously during the season we saw that, because they were pretty dominant through most of the stages, and right now they're looking to keep the dominance going into the finals.
And hopefully they can keep it strong going, although you may see at one point the card for Weed Stomp on Land, they actually have one of their less, or the kind of their worst maps, I guess, if you think of it that way, is Dorado, which we will start off on this night. So we'll have to see what they bring to the table. But on the other side, staring them directly in the eyes, Band, by the way, which I must say, according to their team bio, the most wholesome team in all the lands. They describe themselves as creating an atmosphere of fun and have no room for toxicity. They really want to cultivate a positive atmosphere as well. But they're still serious about winning. They really want to get to those grand finals and prove to themselves that they can really be the family that they are, even though they may perhaps disband the team after this tournament. But boy, that, like I said yesterday, warms my heart. And they're looking forward to playing, well, this was a couple days ago, Furious Unicorns, which unfortunately were knocked out, of course. They will not be able to play them, but they just have the best. They're PMA all the way. Everyone, Yomega, one of their coaches, most handsome, Mr. Crit. They're saying he's the best McCree in Owlet, as long as Lokai is saying they had the best Widow in Owlet as well. Everyone has great descriptors, amazing and loving person, funny personality, a true character, incredibly smart. These are on each of the players' cards, and they are very strong together. But can they bring that technical proficiency here? Oh, we'll have to see if any of the players can come up strong here. Anything for me there, Leo?
Of course, Bam, by the way, and me always have history since the draft day. Bam, by the way, is one of the teams that was interested in me in drafting, and they've always had a special place in my heart, and I've always loved and enjoyed doing casts for their games. But in regards to their team and matchups for tonight, I'm actually going to be looking at Grumpy Zero and Lokai, because after coming that game against Deadlock Gang, they were really dominant in that whole series, and I actually want to see how they pair up against Riderus and Sensic. Sensic being a wonderful Widow, and Riderus being, as you previously mentioned, a quote-unquote one-trick Genji.
Their words, not mine. But we will have to move into the match. Of course, there's also Foxer sitting on the top there. A diva player by heart. And of course, she gets those juicy Foxer bombs, as they're called. And of course, everyone loves a good self-destruct. Now, if we're all ready, I think we'd all like to see some wonderful action here. We'd Stomp on LAN versus Banned by the Way. Sitting on Dorado. Escort to start things off. I hope we can get things started very soon here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, well, let's hopefully, looking at some other players as well. You mentioned Sensic before. Sensic was actually an undrafted player who they had to eventually start them, or as a starter. Start them as a starter. Herp derp. But as a coach or other players, you're bringing in this undrafted DPS as one of your first main six, and that's got to be a little nerve-wracking. But as we've seen over the stages and the hero pool for Sensic, always pulling out a lot of great kills. Just yesterday, constantly playing on Widow, being very aggressive too, not afraid to get up and close with the Widow and grabbing those headshots, and especially the rest of the team playing around Send 6, so there's not much pressure being put on Send as well. And he will play Pharah from occasion. Of course, Luna backing him up with the Mercy plays as well. So we'll have to see as Send will come out strong, hopefully. Dorado, maybe we'll see some early Widows. He also has a little bit of Hanzo play, but Banned, by the way, as well, they also are not shying away from the sniper or double sniper compositions. Just yesterday, looking through some of their matches, they pulled out the Widow and Hanzo, along with the traditional Rein, Zarya, Mercy, and Zen. A very strong composition, so not a ton of 3-3 or the GOATs composition. There's kind of some hints of GOATs in these players, but they're going for lots of dive and a lot of long-range sniper abilities.
Yeah, and definitely Dorado is one of those maps that the double sniper actually is really powerful on, because there's so much sidelines, right? And having multiple angles to shoot with the snipers with Hanzo and Widow is very powerful. And yeah, like many options are available here, but that's one of the try and trues that has been in the past and has actually been working for most teams.
And you mentioned the supports of Weed Stomp on LAN earlier as well, and how they're allowing their DPS and their tanks to move and act the way they can so effectively. But it's all going to be about, especially Weed Stomp on LAN, they are very comfortable with a dive-like scenario. They're going to use it when they can, diving for those out-of-place and squishy heroes. Constantly going for not only supports, they were bullying some DPS as well. On their match just yesterday. So they're together with it for their shot caller and their teamwork to react very quickly so they can win a fight as fast as they can. It's all going to be up to Banned by the Way to see how they're going to be able to defend and shift and rotate as the onslaughts of high mobility heroes I'd expect from Weed Stomp on LAN probably coming out on here on Dorado. I almost said Dorito.
A little bit hungry, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, guys, if you are hungry, I hope you have your snacks with you, because we will be starting Dorado very, very shortly. Both teams looks like they're getting ready for the first match. And in the meantime, I guess we'll just wait until both teams just get the readies.
I'm seeing the chat scroll by ever so fastly with all the R's loading in to Dorado. I can't wait, because now we get to see, after careful planning, maybe they've been scouting out their opponents, deciding what is going to work best against each other. It's not terribly often that in some type of dive comp from either side, they've been playing Sombra as well. The hack is just too good, especially if you find that particular player or hero that you want to disable, and then everyone else pounces right on them. And of course, with the recent changes of infinite stealth from Sombra, that the information gathering ability is just too strong at the moment. But who knows? But we're seeing some obviously interesting pre-choices. Who knows if they'll ever stick with it? Haven't quite seen a Hammond in quite some time, but who knows if we'll actually get that at all.
Considering their composition, I doubt they'll start running Hammond, a triple tank here on Dorado. But hey, I have been wrong in the past with compositions, so it wouldn't be the first time. In the meantime, I will be looking at what BAM, by the way, has in regards to their compositions. It's a very normal composition, like for the likes of Dorado, where you have Widowmaker with Junkrat. Junkrat doing enough spam damage to have most heroes on like half health, and giving the opportunity to the Widowmaker, in this case Loki, to not necessarily needing the headshot, but it could just like easily land the body shot and get the confirmed kill. And yeah, meanwhile the 10 seconds marks is going down. We are starting to see what we Stomp on LAN have indeed, and it looks like they're going to be going with Widow Genji, their tried and true trademark.
Well, the last minute switch from Send from Widow onto Hanzo. And he threw out some incredible arrows. Let's see if he can, yesterday. So let's see if he can repeat this process here. Technician, though, in the meantime, just grabbing a little bit of energy as the rest of the tank line pushing that car ever so slowly up that hill. And of course, the ever coveted high ground. But of course, not a high ground you want to stick on too long. Once that payload moves to a certain spot, you need to contest. And there they go, right on my cue. How nice of them to oblige. But with Technician always being up front, a very aggressive Zarya, Spook will be there in retaliation to stop that payload where it needs to be, because they do not want that to break the breach. Continuing through, Grumpy Zero with the first blood here onto Rydaris. Rydaris going a little deep. Of course, the spam nades are just too good for him, but Spook, on the other hand, their big rectangle man will fall, and that allows We Stomp on LAN to move forward here past the precipice, and Fox are currently separated for the time being. Technician going to be lasering him down the best they can. He will get back up and healed, but the payload will continue all around the statue and fountain. Fox are getting slept, and Salty Dog not quite getting the charge onto Foxer, but they will continue through. Salty Dog going too deep, and he does fall a tire. The first ultimate in the game coming through, and he gets sniped by Sensic. Doing a great job. And now the tank line back up front here. But the thing is, Rydaris is making a mess of it in the back. Mailman does come back up here, but it may be too much damage done already as the shield breaks by Spook, and out comes the Dragon Blade from Rydaris. But right now, Mailman had the Transcendence ready. They're keeping it alive, and Foxer has been there for quite some time. Even though down in numbers, he will finally get grabbed in by the grab and knocked out a mech. Oh, boy, that's some overkill right there. But they're going to take it, even with the res onto Audit. And they're going to grab the first checkpoint here.
Yeah, We Stomp on LAN, they used a bunch of resources. So BAM, by the way, used even more. They used both support ultimates for that fight, and even after using both, they still lose the fight and are actually going to get staggered. Grumpy does get the kill to Technician, such an important one because Technician was high energy for that part of the last fight. And right now, as we can see, Loki did switch to the McCree, and Spook is switching to this Winston for point B.
Yeah, looking for a bit more mobility and controlling that high ground when they can. They want to make sure those high mobility heroes stay off the playground. And Luna dancing up top, but will Valkyrie back down, or rather Guardian Angel back down. The Salty Dog has nothing really to do at the moment. He'll put up a shield, though, finally, after swinging wildly. Spook, though, is making an attempt to go for Sensic in the back. He has the Storm Arrows going and a shield to help him. Spook will be in a little bit of trouble. Oh god, the Earth Shatter gets him, but before he will fall, he will actually die in the process, so that is an ultimate gone for naught. But Loki, in the meantime, sitting up in the high ground, has been secured for him, and he is making a mess of things as well. 3 kills, I believe, has his Deadeye. He is half health, but that will be good enough for them to stop the push.
Yeah, nice job there by BAM, by the way, and also nice stagger on Auto the Camp right there to force We Stomp on LAN to wait a little bit more than what they're supposed to. But yeah, Loki right now is in a really comfortable position because right now he's not going to be contested much. And due to that, Salty Dog and Technician will be switching their tanks to a more dive composition.
Ooh, Salty Dog getting baited, landing right on the trap, and he will fall first. But Rydar's in the back. He does get Lokai, but he will fall as well with 3 assists, with Foxer getting that final kill there. But Lokai will get brought right back into the fray. He has the die, but he is now on the bottom area. With the rest of the diving tanks coming in the back, Spook has to use Primal Rage as he's getting booped around, and he has to make himself an exit before he gets a little too low. That 1,000 health, while it does seem like a lot, can get drained quite quickly here. So Grumpy Zero still sitting with that trap up top just in case continued dive. Fox getting pushed, but Lokai finally with the Deadeye with the arrow. Sensic once again on point with the headshots. The slow Electric Cowboy can't quite make his way out of the reins of an arrow. Technician and company coming in. Technician onto Diva here, and they're going to be able to demech Foxer from that. Sensic sitting on top briefly, but they're going to push past the choke point here and try and put as much pressure as they can so they can grab this second checkpoint. The Dragon to block off the area. Red's coming up onto Foxer, but the tire from Grumpy Zero. Can he finally get something? He does. The double support to lead things and a demech on Technician. Now this is the time for Banned by the Way to come in and wrap everything up. But Rydaris, he throws out. The Foxer bomb's hitting it. Rydaris, he couldn't get much with the Dragon Blade, only getting 1. But hey, Banned by the Way is able to stabilize.
Yeah, and really crucial ultimates from Grumpy Zero and Fox. They're basically removing We Stomp on LAN from the fight. As you saw there, Rydaris did pull out the Dragon Blade, but to no prevail because he did fall to Foxer's bomb. So right now, We Stomp on LAN have 1:30, and they're really close from that point B. So we'll see how they do. They do have the Diva Bomb from Technician, so anything is possible.
Yeah, they still have some ultimates to use. Audit has still been sitting on the Nano Boost for quite some time. Spook going in deep, but he'll have to fall as the heals are doing quite good from him. An early Valkyrie from Eternal Shiva. The fancy girl playing Mercy, and an early bomb into the middle, not grabbing anything but to disperse the enemies from Technician. But with Rydaris falling, then being brought back up, he's going to have to find his targets well, but he's getting chased down right now by Spook right into the center of that hotel. Lokai, though, in the meantime, still singing high ground with Sensic over on Widow, but Grumpy right now has their mark. He's laying down the pills as best they can, as Luna, in the meantime, trying to fly around, give as much healing as she can. In the meantime, Audit, though, has to be using that Nano Boost quite soon.
Yeah, not only that, but We Stomp on LAN, this is probably going to be their last fight, and Eternal Shiva's actually going to take out Sensic, and this is not going to be looking good for We Stomp on LAN. Audit definitely has to use that Nano Boost, but Luna is going to get the rest into Sensic right there. So we're going to see what happens here. Spook does has that Primal Rage for whenever he wants to use it.
Yeah, and Salty Dog had to use his shield for the res to be available. Sensic, though, he's got the sight lines. He just has to make himself available here. Everyone else playing very safely on Banned by the Way in the back. Rydaris, though, gets the Nano Boost. He has no blade, but the Deadeye coming up from Lokai. He waited for the Reflect, and he waited just the right amount of time. Audit will fall as well with Rydaris. And right now, back and forth, 4v4, as Sensic is being chased by Spook in the back line. Lokai will take out Salty Dog, so that it saves the supports a little bit of breathing room here on Ben. By the way, Mailman is playing it safe in the back. He has his Transcendence. He's going to use it right away as he can. Can't quite save Eternal Shiva, but he'll sit on the point, keeping Lokai and Spook and Fox are alive. Both Diva Bombs going out at exactly the same time. Who's going to die this time? They're going to trade, and that's good enough for me. Lokai continuing through. Tire from downtown. I didn't even hear it, and Rydaris is going to fall. They're going to stop him.
And yeah, that's actually going to be Banned by the Way, holding We Stomp on LAN before they can capture that second point. And really nice job from Banned by the Way, adjusting and switching to the dive. They clearly seem more comfortable playing here on dive, or at least on second point, because that gave Froxer more space for her to be diving in with Spook. And that actually did change a lot, because Rydaris was not allowed to pull out his Dragon Blade and start harassing the backline like he was in point A.
And we also saw, the McCree from Lokai and Grumpy always playing on that Junkrat. Well, they're just a little bit of deterrent for those diving members from We Stomp on LAN. The stuns and the traps, making sure that they can't advance or push onto their supports, which actually Mailman, survivability-wise, was going pretty well, as well with Eternal Shiva. It's more about positioning at this point, as if the diving players aren't getting their opportunities. The positioning from those supports has been working out pretty well, but it's all about just making those incremental improvements to make sure that you're always being in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah, very true. And for the side of actually We Stomp on LAN, we're going to be seeing Riderus on Brigida. So it looks like We Stomp on LAN is going to be going with a triple support for here on defense with the single DPS for the Widow.
Yep, this is not uncommon for them. We did see Rydaris yesterday play. Well, they were playing some sort of goats, but they were playing against goats as well, and they kind of needed Rydaris with that help of the, the shield bash and everything. Not a ton of comboing from Rydaris and Salty Dog when they're playing Ryan and Brigida. Maybe we'll see more in this match, but with Sensic with the long range, they should feel okay. But once again, Lokai, supposedly the best Widow in Owlet, and we'll see who gets to do the first headshot of the match. Lokai trying to do some jumping maneuvers, but will not be able to make it. Not taking any high ground, but that'll leave the area open for Spook to get some area and get some information. Grumpy, though, on the Tracer this time, but Rydaris will find them right away, and the combo will bring them down. So We Stomp on... I'm sorry, Banned, by the way. Gonna have to back off for just the time being, giving a little room for We Stomp on LAN to get a good defensive stance.
Yeah, and I wonder if Grumpy Zero is thinking for the side to switch off the Tracer, because Tracer's not going to get a bunch of production if you have 3 healers to the side of We Stomp on LAN, and specifically against a Brigida. Brigida is really hard to play against when you're playing as Tracer, but Grumpy is still going to try hard and see if he can get some picks, and right now there's just a lot of brawl happening in this choke point. It looks like Lokai is going to be falling to Rydaris.
Yeah, Rydaris going ahead with the Luna just to take out Lokai and those squishier heroes, and well, the payload moved a little bit, and We Stomp on LAN is doing a great job at rotating back and coming to the aid of their teammates. The Salty Dog getting a good flame strike on Mailman, who's sitting in the back. Eternal Shiva going to get the resurrection, though. In the meantime, oh, Lokai, though, saw Sensic and had his number. Called it, and boy, bullet through the phone. They got him right away. Foxer, though, coming in with a little bit of aggression, pushing people back. Salty Dog, though, coming in with Technician and Rydaris. Just the immense sustain right now from We Stomp on LAN is doing pretty well for them. But Eternal Shiva has something to say as well. Valkyrie up top, keeping people alive. Ooh, but Voxer Bomb coming in for a landing, going for Technician, will grab her, but Technician grabs Mailman in return, and there's just back and forth from either side. Walls from Lokai, so now they can see exactly where everyone is, but right now they're kind of down a few members here, so Eternal Shiva is going to fall, and demacking here, they're going to have to reset with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, and as right now, as you saw, Grumpy Zero has taken all this time to get his pulse bomb. So it's not that like he's not getting production. It's just like he's not put in a situation where he can do much. Ryder is always looking for the flank, and we know that Tracer dies to one shot to Brigida's bash combo. So he has to try to find a way if he can stick this pulse bomb and make a big play. Because right now, Bam, by the way, are having difficulties, and they are switching to this death ball to try to push through this choke.
Oh, with Salty Dog to lead things off, no one to defend against that Earth Shatter. But Grumpy Zero, in the meantime, in the chaos, is going to take that Pulse Bomb and put it on Rydaris here. And with Fox are falling and then getting resurrected, Eternal Shiva is going to give a little bit more life to this team. And they're going to push through that choke point. With the DMEC coming on, Audit a little late with the Transcendence. They're going to keep alive, but not for so much longer. They're down 5-3 here in terms of members. Salty Dog coming back into the fray, trying to keep people alive, but Audit can't, and everyone else is just falling one by one. It's like some dominoes, but Lokai, 2 headshots, close range, going for Luna for a third. But Grumpy Zero is going to help and finally get some picks here and clean up everyone. And they, Luna going flying there, hitting the bell tower. And they're going to finally push their way through just about 40 seconds on that clock.
Yeah, finally. Bam, by the way, managed to go through that choke point, but they do have to at least beat Technician out of this point without a can. But looks like We Stomp on LAN are not going to be giving up this point anytime soon. And in comes an Earth Shatter from the side of Salty Dog. Spook doesn't get anything. But right now, it's really close. Actually does get the Pulse Bomb, and it's just Riders on the point, trying to do as much as he can to let this point be stalled. But it's at the end, it's just going to be Bam, by the way. Grumpy Zero and Lokai are doing a really fantastic job right now of just like exploding those sidelines. And as we saw on that initial push, Lokai did get 2 crucial picks against the support and one against the baby duo who was actually dancing in the payload, denying all that payload movement. But she finally got removed after 10 seconds.
Yeah, roughly about. But we Stomp on LAN actually burning away time, and more crucially, oh, there's another headshot. More crucially, the ultimates from the side of Band, by the way. They invested a lot just to get them off the point, and now it's paying dividends here, as Rydaris did fall, but they'll call the rally here, and Grumpy is having a tough time in the backlines. He's going to have to zip away just barely, as Rydaris he's chasing Grumpy down so hard right now, but Spook right now is gonna throw through, trying to grab and help with the grab. The Tiva bomb going right in the middle, but the Ryan shields are right on point. Oh, Spook throwing an Earth Shatter into the wall. Salty Dog will throw one out as well. He won't get anything either. Voxer off onto Zarya. High Energy gets pushed off to the side from the charge here. Two members from either side, or one from either side to get brought down, but Salty Dog back up. Dragon in to split the members.
Ooh.
Lokai close to the area, but Sensic actually, the closeness of Lokai will fall into the Dragon eventually. The three people to deny this push. Oh boy, bringing it back.
Yeah, and in regards to ultimates, we do see Foxer, even though she used her Graviton there at the beginning of the fight, she's very close to getting another Graviton already.
Already up to 80%. Those quick Zarya ultimates are something that I love to see. So Weed Stomp on LAN got to think about that, not to feed too much charge here. But with minute remaining, Spook and Salty Dog are going to spar right in the middle. He's going to get booped back, actually. Mailman brought back up from death. Sensic, of course, laying down arrows, but the rally from Rydaris to add so much more sustain and armor here. Spook is going to grab a 4-man shatter here, but there has to be a follow-up. But Audited can't with the sound barrier to save his team in such tricky circumstances. Once again, a grab on the edge of that, but there's no follow-up once again. Weed Stomp on LAN are doing a great job at dissuading all this, but Lokai, in the meantime, is still grabbing two onto the McCree. He's doing a great job. But once again, Grumpy, another switch onto Far. They're constantly chaining up their hero pool, keeping Weed Stomp on LAN on their toes. Oh, a stun from Earthshatter and a Dragon getting to the perfect combo. Well, it wasn't quite clean. They still pulled it off. Oh, a quick rocket barrage from Grumpy actually will get denied as well. Spook coming in with 3 and Mailman coming in as well. They have a little bit to go on here. They can push it into overtime and they don't have to go terribly far, but of course respawn advantage here for Weed Stomp on LAN with Technician out. That could be a big pick as well. Spook sitting up front, very aggressive. Mailman though, an early Transcendence. He was afraid for his life, but Sensic will fall as well. They're looking great. Spook throwing out the charge and a Deadeye to follow up. Auditor can't get in those tricky Lucios out of the way. Rydaris going on to the last one there. Luna as well. They're going to have to push through. Luna, the last bastion of defense. Oh, Technician, though. Of course, the quick Divas here. The charge out of the way. Demacked. They're going to throw her out. Take her down. Full 6-man. Graviton for success. Oh, my God. Oh, it's okay. Oh, that must have hurt. Oh boy, but Ben, by the way, gonna bring it back. They're looking a little tricky there. Surprised they pulled it off.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised because Van, by the way, did get removed by Sensic. Sensic did use a really nice Dragon combo with a Shatter there at the end. No, this is not it. But they use a Shatter Dragons that did remove 2 people from the side of Bam, by the way. But it was just Mailman Foxer and the side of Spooks who managed to like remove Technician from his mech, and yeah, they just managed to brawl it out. And they at the end they just had more ultimates that we Stomp on LAN and managed to finish the point.
Yeah, and that kind of really all stemmed off of that We Stomp on LAN trying to stall out for time before Band, by the way, could capture that first checkpoint. You know, they came in, Technician, the leading force coming in just to stall out for time, and it called out a lot of ultimates from Band, by the way, which looked really good for them. They couldn't quite grab a good foothold here for defense, and it was just we keep seeing a Lokai on the McCree. He's getting up in those high ground areas, not quite, it's creating chaos and making sure he can't be found until he hits that Q button. And he's quick on the trigger finger. He's finding at least 1 or 2 targets, and that's all he needs. And his team can help and clean up the rest of the mess.
Yeah, and right now, it's actually going to be Bam, by the way, being up 1-0. So we're actually going to be going to Nepal. We will be taking a short break to have to check in with the ref and the players. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back. had the Earth Shadow, but I didn't know they also had the Grab and the Deadeye. But so far, pretty entertaining. Overtime, both teams battling out.
So we have two substitutions coming in. Oh no, just one. Breath for Spook. Into a frigid and breezy Nepal we go. Control is the name of the game. Now the teams get to change up their compositions, perhaps. Maybe some halt hook combos from some already early picks from either side. Some substitutions, or rather just one. Spook is going out and Breath is in. Tank for tank. Let's see what they can bring to the game. Of course, we have pits galore. Oh man, do I love me some pits, and great people to just have them fall in. Environmental kills are my bread and butter, and you'll just hear me clapping and cackling as people fall to their death. It's morbid, I know, but that's fine. Let's see what these teams are going to pick up here.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, if you're a fan of environmental kills like MrAlan is here, then you are in for a treat, because Sanctum is known for one of these maps to be really chaotic, because most teams like to go with the Orisa and the Roadhog. But it looks like for Stomp on LAN, they want to start playing with a Death Ball composition. So if Breath does use his halts correctly, he could put Stomp on LAN in a really awkward position where they just fall off the map constantly.
And hopefully they can put them in that position, but Breath has to be very smart in where he's placing those barricades, because boy oh boy, Audit is speeding Stomp on LAN straight onto a point, and they're going to put themselves in their faces. And while they're taking opposite ends here, the Halt's coming in but not grabbing anyone. Playing smart, going into the center room for the time being. Technician already grabbing in the full 40 energy from that barrier here, but they're going to go around and grab their point. As a hack, actually, in the back from Sensic on the rare Sombra here. Shield goes down, it comes back up. Such is the life as Orisa main. But the hook from Grumpy will grab him in a boop from Mailman. Almost got some people off, but the point will go to Stomp on LAN as they push very aggressively to those stairs here. Lokai, in the meantime, still on McCree, hitting some flashbangs, but can't quite follow up in the meantime. Radar's going a little deep, but he'll come back. Flame Strike will be able to call the first Man-at-Arms, and they'll bust their way through. Grumpy Zero, in the meantime, going to get brought back up, but he'll just fall back down again. It's like that good old song. Play it for me, but hey, they're going to take off the first cap.
Yeah, and that's Stomp on LAN doing a composition that just like a more of a rush the Orisa comp, and it's obvious that they've been practicing, because that's exactly what they did. They went completely for the Orisa, denying them from the point. So we're gonna see if Lokai switch to Pharah does something, because they have nothing to counter it.
Oh man, and a rally early from Rydaris, and they're gonna try and push through. The Earth Shatter not grabbing anything, hitting the shield, and Breath in the meantime anyway will fall. Grumpy getting very low, the healing non-existent for in that short amount of time, and he will fall as well. Technician though, very high energy. Let's take a look at that one. Sitting at 94, and you're gonna melt through Foxer in the meantime. Graviton probably gonna come in soon here, but the bongos are gonna get deleted right away, so all that work for the supercharger not gonna go as planned. Lokai in the meantime off onto the far. They're gonna try and rotate their best out of this choke point, and right now Grumpy Zero a little far behind, but far away. Rocket Barrage just gonna spread out the defenders, but the Foxer bomb perhaps. Not going to grab anything, but a little bit of damage. Graviton Surge, Mailman getting stuck in. He has to use a sound barrier. He's actually a little off the ground, but he gets it anyway. And right now, banned, by the way, now in the fancy red color. Going to finally switch it back around. Weed Stomp on Land not quite getting the 99%.
Yeah, not only that, but Bam, by the way, basically used all their ultimates to their resource. They used the Diva Bomb, they used the Fair Barrage, they used both support ultimates, and Breath did use his bongos to even just like get out of the initial choke point. So we're gonna see how We Stomp Online goes because they do have an EMP.
And they're gonna hack that health pack. Sensic is gonna take an alternate route. He will not decide to cloak himself. He'll just go for main for the damage, but there he goes. When you see a Somber not doing anything, the EMP is gonna come. But with that and Earth Shatter, you're going to easily wipe the point here with another hack onto Breath. You cannot fortify yourself. And Mailman is getting bullied in the background. He'll be able to contest for a little bit here, but it's only if they all notice. But the hack on a Lucio, ooh, now that's a rough thing. It's almost as sad as hacking a Tracer. They're able to just slowly skate around. But Mailman, he's trying his best. Ooh, but of course I say it, the caster curse. Luna, though, who said there wasn't Moira still in Overwatch? They're going through, but hey, they're coming in with a sound barrier to go forward. Breath, though, with a charge now into Reinhardt. He's going to do a lot of that burst damage. Foxer dancing around 50% health, and will finally get demeched in that time. Coalescence from Luna. Going for damage at first to Lokai. Have to make them fall, but ooh, a hack onto Lokai is what they need. Sensei going for almost a one clip. Couldn't quite grab it as well. Technician, while being high energy, is the last one on point. Grumpy Zero will be able to take care of that on point here. But Audit coming in with a little bit of speed boost, but instantly deleted. And Sensic getting booped. Oh, not before being able to translocate out in another flip, as the match will not end.
Yeah, Bam, by the way, backs against the wall. They will go into that 5v6 and manage to squeak it out. But Salty Dog and Technician have both their tank ultimates, so we're going to see how this is going to be happening. So right now we see We Stomp Online going into points, so it looks like they're getting prepared. And Sensic's actually going to be falling to Grumpy Zero, so that might change the fight completely.
Sensic had the translocator up, but couldn't quite use it in time. Thought he could grab the 1v1. But Grumpy Zero was able to go back to his team, use up the rally, and fortify themselves just a bit with a little extra armor here. But the thing is, Sensic, once back in the game, is going to throw out that EMP, and there's going to be a few ultimates to pair with that, as they're doing a bit of a different tactical approach here. Sensic in the back, uncloaking, EMPing, grabbing 5, I believe. Oh, the Earth Shatter, as Mailman tried to come in to help save, but was stunned. The sound barrier does actually come out with the Graviton shortly after that. And right now, Banned by the Way are doing a fantastic job at finding themselves in a difficult spot, but coming up on top. The Rocket Barrage from Lokai keeping them alive, just laying down so much damage. And after a tricky start, Sensic is going to get translocated into a Foxer bomb. Always getting those kills. Audit coming in with the speed, but hey, Salty Dog is going to try and charge in here. Going to get a spin on the Grumpy Zero, but hey, it's going to be a lot of trickle here. And Rydaris, no, into the pit. Let go. And by the way, are not messing around.
Yeah, by the way, really good job there. Even though they were down at ultimates, they managed a way to use that sound barrier provided there by Mailman. And yeah, they just had the ultimates at the right time. And right now, they are just playing fantastic Overwatch. We Stomp on LAN do have the ultimates, but they're just not doing the initial picks that they're doing. So let's see if they feel a little bit more comfortable going to Genji with Rydaris and Sensic on the Sombra.
And we're already seeing just a few changes as well. Foxer going over to Zarya as well. And most people... they're going to stick to what they know. Audit, though, onto the Ana. We saw this on Dorado. He had the nano boost for quite some time, but didn't use it until the right moment. But even then, there wasn't a terrible amount of damage done. Hopefully, they can fix that mistake. As once again, Sensic going in the back lines, looking to get a hack on someone. Who can they find? But Rydar's going to be diving straight in, going to half health. He has a little bit of health from Ana, but Luna's going to fly over to him. But Salty Dog and Breath, two Rhines swinging at it as best they can, very aggressive play styles. 82% already for Salty Dog on the Earth Shatter here. Technician, though, falling very, very low. He will fall to a Flame Strike in the end. Right now, Audit is sitting on the high ground with Ana. The sightlines are a little bit obstructed, but right now they're falling. In the meantime, Sensic is going to translocate out Salty Dog in a very troublesome position here. He'll get bullied into death. And Banned, by the way, looking pretty good.
Yeah, and I actually have to credit there Grumpy Zero, localizing Luna on the left side coast and actually taking matters to his own hands as a Brigida would, because, you know, for Gita, and just removing her from the fight.
Ooh, Sensic waiting in the shadows, looking to strike. It's a predator looking for its prey. Lokai, though, is going to escape for the meantime. Grumpy Zero was looking for her the entire time, just in case. Salty Dog avoiding a charge from Breath here. He has the Earth Shatter, but Rydarsa is going to go in first with a Dragon Blade. And the opposite end, Lokai coming in with a Rocket Barrage. He won't get anything. Rydar's coming through with some nice blade action. And right now, Sound Barrier wasn't able to save all of them. Grumpy Zero still has a rally. I don't know if they'll be able to going to use it right now, because right now, We Stomp on LAN not sitting too strong at the moment. They got to regroup.
Yeah, not only that, but We Stomp on LAN used a lot of resources. I don't know if you noticed, but Salty Dog did use his Earth Shatter, but was removed from the fight because he did die to Lokai's Fire Barrage. So they do have Technician and Sensic for that combo EMP Graviton, but we'll see if they can pull it off.
They're going to have to wait in the shadows once again. Sensic sitting there. He's got the EMP going to wait for the grab first. And with an anti-heal grenade and the dashes from Rydar's. Look at all the blue on the kill feed. All the assists from Rydar's just taking the credits. My gosh. That's exactly what they needed. They just need a little bit of time and communication. And that's what you get.
Yeah, exactly what I was predicting. We Stomp on LAN did use that Graviton EMP and an amazing anti-nade there from out of the can. Just giving Rydar's all that juicy dash resets, and he really got and did a lot of damage. So right now we're going to see how Breath and Foxer play into this match, because Rydar's will be going into the backline, trying to remove Eternal Shiva, and that's going to be already a bad job. And here comes the Earth Shatter, and I don't know if Bam, by the way, is going to be up in this fight, but right now it's even.
They are battling back and forth. Breath used his Earth Shatter, already back up to 30%. And Sensic, on the other hand, though, he's always in the back lines finding his targets here. Luna going to come up for a little bit of healing as well. Technician going to find a last-minute stagger on a Lokai here. Interestingly enough, Salty Dog did fall in that fight. He had the Earth Shatter, but luckily his team was able to come through and help him out.
Yeah, right now, we're probably going to be seeing Bam, by the way, try to use this Graviton and Fire Barrage combo, because there's no way, unless Sensic does use his EMP, which he'll probably be looking for. He's probably looking for the Fire right now. As you can see, he's going for the Mercy and already going to be using the Fire Barrage Graviton Surge. The EMP does come out, but I'm thinking it's a little bit too late, even though Sensic does remove Breath from the fight. And it's looking really grim for We Stomp on LAN as Sensic does fall, and that's going to be Bam, by the way, getting the Gong and actually capturing the point back.
The team kill with a little bit of armor to go along as a good present. Lokai, though, on the far, they didn't see him coming up high in the air. Out of visual range, and once the Graviton hit, he knew to hit that awesome, shiny Q button here. Salty Dog still sitting with the Earth Shatter. He's got to move and maneuver his way around Breath here, looking for a charge close to an Earth Shatter himself, but he will get knocked down. Mailman in the back as well, who's currently hacked. But right now, he's so close to a Sound Barrier, but they're getting grabbed together, and needs to be follow-up here. Rydar's with a Nano Boost. He's just trying to go through and slash his way, but now with the Dragon after the fact, they'll try to grab as much as he can. Grumpy Zero actually keeping him in check at the moment. He does nothing but damage. Luna getting stunned in the meantime from Breath's Earth Shatter off to the side, but no one was around to finish her off. And right now, Fox are getting slept and hacked at the same time here. And We Stomp on LAN are trying their hardest to bring it back, and Technician is the one they need to call hero. Going back and forth, but right now, Eternal Shiva doing the constant healing and being very annoying, but the shields from the Zarya Foxer are keeping them alive. But Technician once again coming through high energy. they're going to be able to flip it as Mailman will eventually fall.
Yeah, and both teams use all their resources for that single fight. The only person who has an ultimate up and available is going to be Technician with that Graviton Surge. So we're going to see how Bam, by the way, tries to do this. I imagine they're going to speed it straight through the choke because they don't have much time. There's only 10% remaining if they want to extend this point, and Foxer's actually going to be falling.
Oh, Foxer going in, using it before he falls, the anti-heal, going a bit of chaos and confusion early on, and that is being capitalized by Technician and crew. An Earth Shatter from Salty Dog is going to knock down Mailman. Not anywhere close, but there are some ultimates still left on the field, but Lokai was actually hacked in the meantime, but no one else is quite near. Eternal Shiva tries to go for a resurrection. They're not able to grab anything, and a reflected grab, I believe, at the very end.
Yeah.
Oh boy, a 1v1 on Nepal.
And kudos to We Stomp on LAN capitalizing on Bam, by the way, its desperation. I do think there was a little bit of miscommunication in Bam, by the way's part, because Foxer was the person who was leading the charge instead of having Breath being the person in front. But hey, I completely understand with tickers going down, you're getting desperate, you want to get to the point, so you just hold W and hope for the best. Foxer very, very sadly died there with his ultimate at 99, but hey, We Stomp on that knew it and they capitalized off it.
Off to Village we go to finally crown a victor for our second map of the evening. And I'm seeing a triple tank on the side of We Stomp on LAN. Sensic going on to the Zarya. Don't often see him playing that. They'll go straight to the middle, but not before Mailman can speed his crew right onto point and put their stake in the ground and claim what is rightfully theirs. Mailman is actually do support on support action, going to take on Audit, take him down, and the rest of their crew is going to follow on through. Grumpy coming in with some stuns on the Salty Dog. Rhine-Main's Cry. But who knows? They're going to push it forward as best they can. Salty Dog actually getting brought back up. An early blade from Rydarus, but he gets taken down right away from Grumpy Zero. The Salty Dog will get a charge after being brought back up here. An early Coalescence getting invested into this as well, beating them back. And, well, they have invested a lot early on here.
Loki's going to be really aggressive, actually taking it out of the can, forcing a little bit more staggers. And yeah, right now, Rydarus he's getting his ultimate really quickly, but it's going to be really hard because Genji against Goats is a really difficult composition because there's so much healing and so much health with the tanks. It's going to be hard, especially with the beat up, but in comes the Valkyrie from the side of Luna, so we're going to see if We Stomp on LAN can push into the point.
Ooh, Luna going between, healing in, oh my god, healing, but double Earth Shatters coming in, giving both stuns, and Graviton Surge is holding people in place. But after all that, only one death, and now Luna falling. And Salty Dog going in as well, trying to keep his team up as best he can. He has to keep that rectangle to deflect all that damage here. Lokai coming in hard. High energy as well here, coming with 2 kills just to stagger even more.
Yeah, Lokai doing fantastic job with those staggers. Does get Salty Dog there at the end, and we do see Sensic switching to that Pharah, so they do have a plan in mind. Hey, they have no way they can contest the Pharah, so let's switch to Pharah, and we're going to see if that actually pans out.
Yeah, Goats not having a ton of range. It's going to be up to Foxer, most likely, to keep Send in check here. And with a bit of a split and separated approach, lackadaisical, I guess could be one term is used as well. We Stomp on LAN here. Gotta make their move soon here. They're working not with many ultimates here, but Rydarus coming in with a Nano Blade, swipes his way. Dicing and slicing. He takes out Grumpy Zero to make sure he can't get stunned, and Send and Salty Dog will be there to help wipe up the scraps.
And not only that, but Rydarus knew who had the ultimate, and Mailman was the man with the ultimate. Tried to use that sound barrier before he fell, but it was too late. He did die before during the cast animation. And now, Bam, by the way, do not have their sound barrier. They do have a lot of ultimates with Lokai's, Graviton, and Brev's Earth Shatter, so we're going to see how this is going to pan out.
Ooh, the anti-grenade getting on Foxer to get her out of mech here. But the Coalescence coming in for some extra heals at the end. Sensic, though, the sneaky Far coming in with rocket barrages. And then the Earth Shatter from Salty Dog to follow it up. Sensic is going to come back in, though. They're going to still keep things nice and clean.
Yeah, right there. Nice job by Sensei, hiding on that top right side corner, not knowing, not letting them, Bam, by the way, know that he was hiding in that position. In comes Holly the Cans, nice anti-nade, and the Fairbrog was just like on point, removing Bam, by the way's choices of even having a chance on that push.
We're seeing much more abbreviated fights here on Village. So at least we Stomp on LAN is doing something right. An early bomb, but Eternal Shiva doing the nice fade at the correct time so that he does not fall. A Diva Bomb right in the middle. Not going to grab anything. Foxer will fall before being able to remech. An Earthshatter from Breath will get Audit, and the charge pushes them out of the way. Ooh, a Nano Boost on the right Dars, though. He's not looking too good.
Get the
He does have the Dragon Blade, and there is a sleep under Lokai. He does find Eternal Shiva as well. Lokai will fall after being woken up here. Breath as well. Two big fatty tanks falling to a very interesting moment as Radar's the only one trapped in that Graviton Surge. Salty Dog coming in with a charge onto Grumpy Zero. Couldn't quite get the shield bash up in time here. Foxer, though, trying to make his way through Salty Dog, but an anti from Audit, though, to keep them on their toes. And right now, some nice boops as well onto Breath. They're going to flip the point.
And actually, Salty Dog's going to be using that Earthshatter. A little bit of an overstatement. Probably didn't need it there. The fight was already won. But hey, right now, we Stomp on LAN did a fantastic job there. Ryderus did get that Dragon Blade and clutched it out. If he would have not gotten those kills to the supports, I think Bam, by the way, might have just won the map right there. But right now, Bam, by the way, same situation as last round. They have 10%. They have to go to the point, and Coalescence is going to be starting off. Sensei does have that Fair Barrage, so watch out for that. He is getting ready in position.
He's going to use it, but he's so low. He's under 10 health. Can he find some healing, or does he just go for it anyway? Luna trying to get a resurrection as well. Salty will fall, but he gets back up. The bomb from Technician, though, grabbing Mailman after using a sound barrier here. The Foxer bomb is out. The Salty Dog is ready with the shield. A nice anti-nade from Audit, and after using Rydaris, once again, the Nano Blade is kicking here. Only 2 tanks to go. Foxer demech after Lokai is falling. We Stomp on LAN. Coming back from a very shaky start, but they're going to grab it, tied up.
Yeah, fantastic job from Audit the Can't. His play is almost like should be praised. So many anti-nades, giving Ryderus the opportunity. Obviously, Ryderus with his Dragon Blades cleaning up most of the kills, but he was put in position with the Nano Boost and all the anti-nades that were happening. As you can see here, he was just like put in such a comfortable position, just giving... just to make sushi out of Bam, by the way. And yeah, it's going to be We Stomp on LAN tying the series 1-1 after winning here on Nepal.
Of course, the night isn't done yet. We still have many maps to play potentially, and of course, many favorites. King's Row is up next. Good old hybrid map. So make sure not to tune away. We do have another match going on as well on the other side of the bracket. But if you want to keep watching, We Stomp on LAN and Ban, by the way, duke it out. We'll be right back after this. Coming to the shadowy nighttime streets of London, King's Row welcomes us with open arms, the golden statue of hope and friendship for Omnix. We'll say Overwatch lore, it's a thing to behold. But here we are, we'd stomp on LAN, setting off to attack first here. We were discussing in between the break what they'd be running to start things off. I mentioned a perhaps dive situation, but then Leo was saying perhaps not. It seems Ryan and Zarya is probably a better bet to go with.
Yeah, very true. Either one has in the past seen success, but most of the teams do like the Ryan Zarya because it's to put it simple, it's easier to run, right? All you have to do is press W, hope that your Zarya and the Ryan take enough damage to deflect it back at the other enemy tanks and just frag out from there. Meanwhile, dive, you have to like go on flanks and try to be on the high ground from the hotels, and it's a little bit more harder to play, but if you do manage to do it, it does prove to have a lot of success. But for the side of BAM, by the way, they will be starting here on defense, and we are going to be seeing Lokai on his McCree, and so far Lokai has done really, really good on the McCree on Dorado, but he has been pressured a lot in Nepal, so we'll be seeing if we Stomp on LAN start putting the pressure again to Lokai, or if Lokai can pop off like he was in Dorado.
Absolutely, and Band, by the way, running a very similar composition as they had on Dorado. It's just that Mailman is now on the Ana. The gates are open, Salty Dog is pushing forward. Sensic going on to the Hanzo. You mentioned that as well in the break, that he'd probably pop into a Hanzo as well. Rydaris, though, may have a tough time going in to dive through that, but as long as he can stick with his team and play nice, they'll be able to do it well. The Salty Dog gonna go around the statue, make his way onto point, and Technician's gonna come in through with some energy. Rydaris going on the high ground to find a little bit of flanking route. He's gonna dive in, he will get the kill on the Lokai, but the nade is gonna come from Mailman to do some retaliation here. A charge from Salty Dog is gonna do nothing but clear the streets, snow plowing. Not gonna get a charge at all. Technician, though, in the meantime, gonna grab a nice kill onto Breath and an anti-nade once again onto Foxer here, and the cookie crumbles, the dominoes fall. Salty Dog, a little low in health, but he's fine. There's backup. They're gonna grab the point.
Yeah, and right there, as you saw, both main tanks literally went YOLO and went directly for the enemy's backlines. But the one that actually did work out, Salty Dog just got hard pocket and actually managed to come out. But not the same could have been said for Breath. Breath got destroyed once he was on the other side of the map. But right now we see Stomp on LAN being really aggressive, going really far ahead from the map. And out of the can is probably on his phone right now, texting his friends of what's going on. Meanwhile, he's pushing the cart on duties, and Setsic's going to get the pick onto Lokai. So this is already going to be a match. This is already going to be a fight that Bam are going to be back on. And Salty Dog is actually going to bring out the Dragon Blade. And, oh my god, the Dragon Strike from Sensic. Disgusting stuff from Stomp on LAN.
The aggressiveness pays off. We've seen this time and time again on this map. Attacking teams pushing so far up, they need to put their foot on the ground, draw the line, and then push that line even further. Because if those defenders get a hold anywhere in this section, it is kind of tough for them to get them out of that hole in those trenches here. But, you know, in the meantime, Audit is sitting on a nice little cruise. They'll throw out some healing, why not, at the end. But Breath is coming back with a vengeance. He wants to stop this payload here. He doesn't quite have his hammer yet, and he will fall right away. And Boostio is found its way onto the field. Eternal's going to survive that along with a bit of shields on the sound barrier here. Lokai, though, off onto the far, going for the high ground areas. Rydaris, once again, Nanoblade, he's going to dash through into the dragons here, who's not going to find much but split the team up and make room. Since it can get some Storm Arrow action as well onto Foxer, who's on to Zarya here. Once again, the YOLO-ness coming out. Salty Dog will get, oh my gosh, Breath. Feels bad, man, but they're going to push up far once again.
Yeah, and as you saw there, Rydaris did have that perfect opportunity to bring out the Dragon Blade with the Nano Boost, and it did do wonders there, capturing point B. And right now, Stomp on LAN are on a record-setting pace. They're 5 minutes in, and they already captured point B.
And some last-minute changes here. Grumpy Zero going over to far. Lokai back on to the McCree here. And well, with some extra presence on point here, they're going to throw out the Graviton Surge, grab them all into point, and a healing grenade coming in from Audit to keep them alive. Breath, though, with some assistant, will grab a lot of kills here. But Salty Dog is going to make his way to charge in and grab a little bit for himself. Eternal Shiva, let's not forget about her, grabbing a bit of a resurrection.
Yeah, Eternal Shiva getting the rest there into Breath, and Grumpy finishing on right hours. And looks like right now they managed to hold off Stomp on LAN, but not for long. Both Foxer and Breath, they use their tank ultimates to win that fight. And Salty Duck does have his Earth Shatter for whenever he thinks Breath is going to have his shield down. So we're going to see how Stomp on LAN take this fight.
Coming in with the few ultimates here, and a preemptive Valkyrie from Luna to lead things off. The healing and damage switching back and forth. Salty Dog walking right through Breath, who was a little bit out of position. He's going to charge his way back to help his team out, but the rest of Stomp on LAN are going to come through and try and clean up what they can. Lokai, the 2 DPS are going to fall here. Grumpy Zero so close. He has Rocket Barrage. They need to use that, but they need to get the point first. They're so close. And Eternal Shiva has the... Oh my gosh. She had the Valkyrie. Got caught up on a pillar, but couldn't quite make the corrections to stop the payload.
And as you said, my God, BAM, by the way, did have the Fire Barrage for their availability, but a little bit too late. Lokai, I do believe it was Lokai on the Pharah who did have the Fire Barrage. But hey, Stomp on LAN, they did fantastic attack here on King's Row, just pushing and keeping up the tempo of the game, forcing them, by the way, to always be on their back foot. And hey, they captured points. They finished King's Row with over 3 minutes and 33 seconds.
Yeah, that hyper aggression from the second stage there. Not only, I mean, they're pushing up so far, grabbing some, picks to stagger some of Banned by the Way. And at the same time, they're building up their ultimate charge. They didn't have to really use much of their ultimates until fully engaging with Banned by the Way. And, it's just, you have all that momentum, and you're going to keep carrying it through. We see that, like, especially on 2CP, you win that initial fight as attackers, and you can just kind of roll on to second point. They kind of had that going after capturing the payload.
Yeah. And actually, here it looks like a little bit of a normal occurrence we're going to be seeing here. Stomp on LAN with a Hanzo and Brigitte for their DPS because, Brigitte, she's everything. Tank, DPS, healer, whatever you want. She has it. And in regards of defensive tanks, we're going to be seeing a lot of death ball here. Very common. But for the side of BAM, by the way, you did mention it at the beginning of the map. Dive is... definitely a viable option, and looks like that's what BAM, by the way, wants to try out with Grumpy on the Tracer and both Boxer and Breath on their dive tanks.
We'll see how they react to what they see. They may see Rydaris on that Brigitte, maybe rethink something, but if Lokai can grab an early pick, that's all they'll need to pounce and grab what's rightfully theirs. Slowly making their way through, but will be Breath coming in early, and Grumpy Zero was there as well, but not before grabbing an arrow to the face from Send, but crucially, Rydaris did fall in there, so the stuns are out of play. But right now, Technician is able to clean up and help out, his Breath falling as well. And Mailman trying to help out as well. But one failed attack here, and it looks like switches are coming up.
Yeah, and really aggressive dive from the side of BAM, by the way. Even though Lokai did get the pick into Rydaris after the dive was done, really risky because they do have a Brigitte, and Brigitte does end up finishing dives really quickly because her shield bash just stuns people in place, and if a team has enough focus, they can get instantly removed from a fight. But here we see Grumpy Seer switching off to the Fair, and it's actually going to be really good because, oh my God, Oxy Riders is going to be taking out Breath, so BAM, by the way, are actually going to be in a disadvantage for this fight. And yeah.
The presence of the Pharah actually separated Stomp on LAN 3-3 between that checkpoint there in the archway, but still, even with that, Rydaris was able to push through with some help of the tanks and grab some extra picks, and now Grumpy Zero and Eternal Shiva are in a bit of a tough spot. Yeah,
most definitely. Grumpy and Eternal Shiva are on their own, but BAM, by the way, are back in the fight. So right now, Look is going to be bringing out the Infrasight, so we're going to see how this fight does come out.
Sensic has the dragons. He's sitting up high at the moment. The angle's going to be a little bit awkward, but he will fall down.
Ooh.
Oh, in that process, he does fall to a hammer in the side kidney punch. Doesn't feel good, but the rock... Oh my gosh, Salty Dog hitting the stun from the Earth Shatter will be able to help bring this fight back in the favor of We Stomp on Land. The resurrection, though, from Breath could try and change things around. Grumpy Zero falls with a rocket barrage in the back pocket here. Dragon's finally coming up. Mailman throws the Transcendence out, but only to really heal Foxer, who's on point. Eternal Shiva guarding angeling in a little bit deep. But Lokai, hey, you don't have a shield, so now the Widowmaker has an open field day, and those are 2 headshots to switch it to ground. Once again, Technician going to come in with the resurrection from Luna, quite risky, and we'll grab it. Grumpy Zero high above, going to throw down 2 people down with the rocket barrage. And hey, Luna couldn't quite get out. Audit having a bad day. Don't get bullied.
And yeah, that's going to be Audit. Actually, going to get staggered a little bit here. But it's going to be Bam, by the way, capturing after a couple of pushes. Going to be probably impossible to finish at the pace that We Stomp on Land did. So even if they finish this, We Stomp on Land is going to be with the advantage. But Lokai doing his fantastic job as a hit scan player, removing radars from the fight there. So right now we're going to see how We Stomp on Land focuses. And Lokai's taking an aggressive push right here. He's almost half health, so he does have to watch out. That Technician does take him out, but he does go back to his healers.
Yeah, Technician, the self-shield is down for just a moment here. Has to grab that energy as quick as they can. He has the Graviton Surge. We'll see when or how they'll use it with a few members up front at the moment. Breath leading the charge. Foxer is long trying to get there, but the Flame Strike, a little bit of extra damage, brings him down. So the big shield out of the way opens up the field for Salty Dog. He's not quite as Earthshatter just yet, but Rydaris is there to help anyway with some dashes onto the Genji, who finally grabbing a little bit of revenge on the Lokai here, who's been doing such a great job on Widowmaker.
Yeah, and right now, We Stomp on Land are putting Bam, by the way, to their spawn doors. They're being really aggressive, also taking out Eternal Shiva, finally backing off. But look at the side of We Stomp on Land. They have almost 4 ultimates. Make it 5 if Rydaris gets his Dragon Blade in time. So they definitely have the advantage. Foxer does have to use that Graviton Surge if they want to have a chance of winning this fight. And Grumpy has very close to his Fire Barrage. Now he does have it. So we're going to see who uses the Graviton Surge first.
I have a weak heart here. I'm seeing all those shiny circles up on top, and it's going to be a cacophony here. Both Valkyries to leave things off, and damage and holding in place ultimates and CCs are going to appear. Grumpy Zero, though, coming out on the upper end of that with 2 kills on the 2 tanks. Luna's going to fall as well, but in the meantime here, they invested 3 ultimates, banned by the way that is. They're going to use Infrasights, but hey, 5 ultimates on the side if We Stomp on Land.
Yeah, We Stomp on Land right now are trying to see if they can make it back to the point. Lokai will be using his Infrasights to have a... Oh no, Rydaris is in a bad position. He does have the Dragon Blade and he does go down. This is looking bad for We Stomp on Land. Both DPS are down and oh my god, the Earth Shatter does come out. Salty Dog does get pinned, but is not removed from the fight. He's going to use his own Earth Shatter. Does take out 2. Does bring it down 2, but that's going to be the point. And Mailman using a Transcendence probably didn't need it.
Yeah.
But hey,
feeling good.
Yeah, he just saw the Earth Shatter and it's just like reactive, like, right? You think like we need to win this fight because there's like time issues, but right now We Stomp on Land have 3 ultimates and Bam, by the way, has none. And there goes the Dragons and Graviton combination, and that's gonna be already 2. So Bam, by the way, already in the downward position, actually gonna be losing this fight.
Yeah, and they were feeling okay. They had all those ultimates to use. Good trigger fingers and patience being presented there by We Stomp on Land. But they're going to push up a little farther here. So they invested a little bit into that fight as well. A little bit of a wombo combo. But now everyone's kind of resetting. They're going to bring it back into the fight. Grumpy Zero coming close to a Rocket Barrage. Eternal Shiva is going to have that Valkyrie as well, but Rydar's going in the back lines, going for the Dragon Blade, but he's getting pushed off to the side. Breath is trying to grab him a one-on-one. Actually, Mailman is going to come in to swoop for the kill here. With Rydar's down, that's going to be a call for banners here. Eternal Shiva with the Valkyrie here. Storm Arrows onto Breath, though. In the aggressive resurrection, we see these Mercies get these aggressive
Breath has
resurrections
his Earth Shatter if he wants to use it, but
yeah, he has it, but they're a little down at the moment, and they got to be smart about using it. Dragons coming in from the side, splitting people off the payload for the time being. Eternal Shiva now entering back in, trying to grab up some healing. Lokai off onto Widow. But Breath with a 2-piece. Sensic is going to get briefly protected by the Zarya shield, but Salty Dog will take the brunt of the force. Oh, Luna and Sensic getting trapped here. Breath coming in. What an MVP coming through, swinging the Angry Hammer. Technician going to have a rough time here as finally, after all those trials and tribulations, and by the way, will complete the map.
Yeah, and by the way, do complete that map. And you gotta give credit there at the end to Breath and Foxer. Breath getting 2 players with that Earth Shatter and removing Salty Dog from the fight. And Salty Dog did have his Earth Shatter, and that could have been so game changer if he would have found a way to use the Earth Shatter for the side of We Stomp on LAN. But before he could use it, he did fall, and then Foxer came in with her own Graviton Surge and just denied We Stomp on LAN from even stalling the point. But as you can see in the time slots, BAM, by the way, has only a minute to try to see how far they can push this payload. Meanwhile, We Stomp on LAN have a comfy 3 minutes and 39 seconds.
It's really coming down to how aggressive do you want to be on either side. I mean, you have a minute to go. Do you come in hard and fast, or do you kind of creep on the ground and try and move your way strongly but slowly? I mean, with that minute time bank, it's going to be a little bit tough here. And I think with the positioning for We Stomp on LAN, they have the GOAT composition roughly here, send on Pharah as well. So they can sit in their usual spot and feel quite comfortable.
Yeah, and as we can see, Sensic is going to be playing this Pharah, so they probably are expecting the goes for the side of BAM, by the way. So we're going to be seeing how this is actually going to be turning out.
Yeah, playing into the short time bank here. Eternal Shiva going onto Moira. Such a quick ultimate grabber if she can use her hit well. Wasting absolutely no time. They're going to have to rush right in. The sustain is going to be put to the test for GOATs here. We Stomp on LAN trying their best, but right now Breath is going deep in. He turns around, does the 180 charge to grab Rydaris, a major player and a major pick. And this is what they've been waiting for. Breath, he's going to have his Earth Shatter here. He may not even have to use it as Lokai is coming in, following up on the tank roll on Zarya here. High energy. Luna trying the best, flying up high, but they are falling so quick here. 2 supports left on. They're going to call out some armor, and they're going to set themselves up nicely.
Yeah, and that's going to be BAM, by the way, actually getting that crucial pick. Breath did, as you mentioned, that 180 charge was so important to that fight, because removing Rydaris from having his abilities as Brigitte did hinder We Stomp on LAN on that push. But right now, BAM, by the way, are going to try to be really aggressive because they do have ultimates. Meanwhile, We Stomp on LAN don't. Salty Dog is probably going to have his Earth Shatter before the second fight, but we're going to see what happens.
It just takes one wipe to end it all here. That overtime will go away very quickly. But the Earth Shatter from Breath is going to lead things off. Technician going to be only able to fall, but a 4-man Earth Shatter from the other side from Salty Dog. But the sound barrier from Audit is going to keep them alive in the meantime. Eternal will fall, I believe, losing a Coalescence perhaps. But oh my gosh, look at all the colors and damage flying. Even with Salty Dog grabbing so many kills, there's so much sustain even on the side, but We Stomp on LAN are going to easily wrap this one up just before the bend. Oh boy.
Ooh. And that's basically how 3-3 comps basically end. Everybody's going to be using ultimates because there's so much health pools. So ultimates happen really quickly. And even though Sensic did use his Fire Barrage, nice job by Foxer actually using the defensive matrix to eat up most of the Fair Barrage. Even though Sensic did get one pick with it, it was basically completely denied. But at the end, We Stomp on LAN had all the ultimates and and they just pressed them. It was actually funny because Salty Dog started the fight with an Earth Shatter, and then at the end of the fight had another Earth Shatter.
Always best to have another one in the back pocket if you need it. But hey, in the end, Ben, by the way, did capture the first point, and that is very crucial, especially coming into King's Row, where the attackers have, it's not quite easy, but it's definitely an easier hybrid map to grab that first point here. And they did push it, but man, they're going to have a tough time defending if they lose the first point. That area where that payload has to go to, that is going to be such a tough place to defend. You don't have the bookshop to really play around. You have to play up forward near the choke point. And, well, we'll see if we even get to that point anyway.
Yeah, and actually it's going to be We Stomp on LAN going with a similar composition that they had. Instead of having a Hanzo, they're going to be going with a Widow. So we're going to see if they go straight into the ban by the way for this one.
Sen6 sticking on ground level, looking for any mark they can. Right now, Mailman is in a bit of an interesting situation. Rydaris is up top searching for the kill, and right now they're going one-on-one. The dash just barely reaching him, and Mailman has to dive down. Eternal Shiva got to turn around and heal your man, and they will grab it, but Lokai will grab Rydaris, ending that chase right there. Fox are fallen, but grabbed back up. Shields being thrown up, Zarya shields getting charge. Salty Dog getting the healing, but the anti-heal on the breath gets him down. Oh, the Earth Shatter is blocked as he gets booped up. What an unfortunate situation here. They're going to have to back out after that. They had the fight going, but what an incredible turnaround there.
Oh my god, Grumpy's here being the hero of that fight, using the shield bash to deny Salty Dog's Earth Shatter from coming down. If that Earth Shatter would have come down, Bam, by the way, would have most likely had 2 people stunned easily. But Lokai right now has to be careful. Almost went down there. He does have that Deadeye, so we're going to see how Bam, by the way, wants to initiate this fight.
I'm assuming Lokai may stand a little bit farther back to be safe with the Deadeye. Early Valkyrie from Luna, damage boosting, then healing. The Rhine getting the charge. He does get stunned from Gumpy Zero, who has the rally up 1 kill from the Deadeye, getting Rydaris out of the game. But actually brought back up. Rydaris is so close to the blade, and if he uses that, they can seal the deal here. But hey, the rest of the team, while he's sleeping on the job, is making work.
Yeah, right now, We Stomp on LAN did a really nice job there of just removing the fight, just removing everybody from the fight. Even though Lokai did use his Deadeye to remove Rydaris. And oh my god, Sensik is going to be staggering Lokai to some ridiculous amounts, but Eternal Shiva has to use his res. And they have to watch out. The point, the capture point is really close.
Oh,
and
my.
oh no, Sensik using that dragon.
My.
Oh no, this is gonna be really bad for Bam. By the way, Eternal Shiva probably gonna. I don't think she has her res yet, so it's just gonna be 3 people for Bam. By the way, trying to hold this corner, and Salty Dog and Technician are gonna be pushing really hard. Technician does have his Graviton search for whenever he wants to use it, and it does come out for the side of Foxter. 4 people are caught, but there's not enough fight. There's not enough damage on the point.
Ooh, they're going to finish this thing off, though, with a Graviton Surge from Technician. They solo on the Lokai, who's on Soldier, but yeah, in a difficult spot for a defense. We Stomp on LAN, going to bring up the lead to 2-1. But what a double Dragons there from Send. Probably the play of the game is what I guess.
Yeah, most definitely. Such an important usage of Hanzo.
Well, maybe not.
Sadly, not here. But Sensik was really good on this Hanzo. As you can see here, he also got a quadruple with the Earth Shatter combination. But yeah, right now, We Stomp on LAN are looking really, really powerful. Having compositions that they have used in the past, and they still stand to this day. So we're gonna see Bam, by the way, try to switch things up, because so far they have been having a lot of trouble against Rydaris to like Genji. So yeah, we're actually gonna be going to a little break. Before we actually go, MrAlan, do you have any words to say?
I was just saying, We Stomp on LAN seem to finally be hitting their strides here. A little bit of a faulty start, but that's fine. They're getting into the groove, and of course, going into a grand old 2CP map. Volskaya Industries is what we're coming up to next.
Traveling to Volskaya Industries.
It's 2CP land, and off we go to Volskaya Industries. Oh joy, here we are. The snowy landscape welcomes us. Make sure you got the warm coats on, and especially do not fall into the frigid waters below, as so many players have, attacking, and they try to make that jump off to the left side, and ooh boy, do they fail ever so hard, but it's all for our entertainment. Here we are once again. I am MrAlan. Along with me is Leo.
Yeah, so going to Volskaya, we're going to be here in everybody's favorite game mode, 2CP. Volskaya, very well known for long ranges, so we're probably going to be seeing Sensic on either sniper, whether it be on the Hanzo or the Widowmaker. Right now it seems to be that he's going to be preferring the Hanzo, and actually it looks like Rydaris is actually going to be going with the Brigida. It looks like he's not going to be favoring the Genji for this first point A.
The troll picks Widow to Reaper to now Hanzo. The joys of early picks, but Sensic he's feeling the Hanzo. He had a great game on King's Row, as we saw, multi-kills with the double dragons throwing him out here. But you'll see where he gets positioned up. He may be sitting right on the center of that building, but who knows? But it's going to be up to the GOAT's composition. And by the way, now in the fancy red, going to be pushing straight through in, well, avenues of attacks. You got a few.
Yep, and actually, this is going to be really hard for Stomp on land. They don't have a, a character like Junkrat who can spam a lot of damage. They do have Hanzo, but Ana is usually the key token against Goats, because if an anti-nade does land, basically Goats is fried. But it looks like they do recognize that they're going to be playing really back from the choke and actually going to be going in. Bam, by the way, going full YOLO to see if they can get a kill.
Yeah, and Sensik playing on the forklift right now and just throwing arrows down in the middle. Spook will fall to that as long as some help from Rydaris, who's been stunning away as well. And, well, they're going to immediately pull that ripcord and get out as fast as they can. Eternal Shiva falling as well. 80% of Coalescence, though.
Yeah, and as he did mention in King's Row, Moira is one of those characters that does get her ultimate really quickly, especially in Goat's composition, because there's so much damage being taken by the tanks, and Moira just heals everybody at the same time. So it's just it's just an easy time for Moira to just get the coalescence so fast.
They're taking a left instead of a right here going into the point, and with the coalescence to heal and damage at the same time, of course. She's going to point that beam in the 180 direction, but come back in. But the arrow once again from Sensik to end that prematurely here. Technician trying to follow up as well here with some extra kills, but the Dragons are going to split off. Lokai going to get a lot of damage from that, and they're going to fall one by one. Fox are the last one. Feels bad. The Baby Divas are the most bullied hero in the game, it feels like.
Yep, and that's going to be Foxer taking her demise to the cold waters of Volskaya. And right now, in regards of ultimate, Technician does have his Graviton Surge, but Spook is going to be having his Earth Shatter, and Grumpy Zero does have Rally to at least initiate the fight with some armor gain. So we're going to see how that impacts this fight.
The armor is such a hard thing to break through sometimes, and taking the same avenue, Foxer extend, going up, pushing Sensik off for the meantime. Graviton Surge getting thrown out, and the little charge is going to help out as well. Foxer going to get demacked in all the mess of that. Grumpy Zero is going to fall as well right after using a rally, but boy oh boy, We Stomp on LAN are just denying push after push here, and they're looking pretty strong, only having to use 2 ultimates in that fight.
Yeah, right now this is looking really bad for the side of BAM, by the way. The reason why I was pretty surprised was because Rydaris did use that Shield Bash to deny Spook from using that Earth Shatter. So another ability that just goes for the side of We Stomp on LAN. Sensik does have that Dragon Strike, so that another separation may be coming for the side of BAM, by the way.
And a couple changes here. Lokai over to Junkrat. Grumpy Zero once again switching off to a late game Pharah. Coalescence once again from Eternal to lead things off. A Salty coming out with an Earth Shatter. Oh, but he does fall to the Foxer Bomb. Resurging once again here. Trying to even the odds for the time being. Luna will bring up Salty Dog in the meantime. The Dragons sent out by Sensik didn't actually do much after all that. But hey, they're going to keep the point with a minute remaining here.
Yeah, even though Foxer did get that double bomb, and one of the kills was rest by Luna, so even still, it's going to be a 5v6 right now because Sensik is not in the fight.
He's going to try to jump his way as best back he can. Audit, though, going to throw the Transcendence quite early on. He's going to have to just get his way out of there. Shield from Mailman. He's going to keep his team alive. Foxer, though, so close to being demacked. He will get demacked, but once again, Technician pretty on point with the Graviton Surge so far. 30 seconds to go. Remaining on the time, almost a full hold here. And right now, Grumpy Zero, he has the Rocket Barrage, but he's kind of way out of the way, and he's going to have to fall and reset.
Yeah, not only that right now, but BAM, by the way, only have 10 seconds. Grumpy Zero probably will not be in there to help with the initial push. Foxer is in position to touch the point. They do have 3 seconds. She does get demacked, but right now Spook is going to be charged, and he's going to die!
Oh, no! An absolute T-bone from Salty Dog hitting him from the side. He didn't see him. The Earth Shatter from Eternal Shiva to knock him down. The ultimates are still in the back pocket, but a full hold. What a charge from Salty Dog, man. That was great.
Yeah, and We Stomp on LAN. All they have to do if they want to make it to the finals, they only have to get 1 tick here on point A. So right now, the stakes are high. BAM, by the way, are going to be backs against the wall. All they can do for here is to get a tie and hope they can win another map to at least make it to the tiebreaker. And for We Stomp on LAN, as long as they get 1 tick, they will be celebrating and going to the grand finals to face off either between Microsoft Excelsior or Click for Heads.
And we Stomp on LAN, they said early on they wanted to play Microsoft Excelsior. They have not played in regular play or in the regular season here, so they want to, they want a taste of that blood if they can get that to the grand finals. But they're so far playing very comfortable in their composition at the moment, playing usually what they do. Oh, of course, the last minute changes here. Sensic thinking about the Sombra. We mentioned that to ourselves privately in the break here. We're surprised we didn't see a lot more Sombra.
Yeah, and Sombra is so powerful. That Mega next to the point is usually a room that's like very, very important for either like the defense or the offense, because if as Sombra you can hack that Mega, most teams can just like farm the Mega and just have basically another healer, right? Because you have your two supports and then you have the Mega who's probably going to be healing the supports or the DPS.
And of course, you're also denying at the same time any possible avenue for
The enemy to get
attackers.
heals.
Absolutely.
So right now we're actually going to be seeing here kind of a triple tank from the side of Bam, by the way.
Yeah, Grumpy throwing out the Roadhog. We've seen him play it once before in Nepal. Didn't play it for long though. Gonna bring it back here. Lokai, they're gonna try and hook and stun is probably the name of the game. Lokai, of course, on the McCree here. Slow and steady is the name of the game, it seems like, for Weed Stomp on LAN. Just building up energy as best they can. With Salty Dog leading the charge. They're gonna swing around the truck. And a little bit of poke in the back from Rydaris here. He's going for Mailman up top here. A bit of 1v1 action, but he will grab him, and already 2 down. This is looking terrible for Band, by the way. And oh my gosh, already an Earth Shatter to get the fat man down. He will fall actually here, but Rydaris is there with the dash resets. And just that 33% is all they need. And with the resurrection, full man on the point, 6 stack, there you go. We Stomp on LAN, moving on to the grand finals.
And yeah, kudos to We Stomp on LAN, doing a fantastic job of adjusting after that Dorado game. Definitely looked like the team that deserved the most to be going into the finals. And right now, it's going to look really interesting because as C did mention during the break of the rounds, they do want to face Microsoft Excelsior. So I don't have details right now of if the other match, how it's going. I will be looking up right now, though.
100%.
It'll be interesting to see if they get their wish. And of course, Technician grabbing the play of the game. And actually a late pickup for Weed Stomp on LAN. Technician did come in, I believe, until stage 3 into the ranks. But seems like a great addition it was. And, well, a 3-1 victory is all they need. No longer do we need the other maps in the pool. But Ban, by the way, coming out fairly strong early on, but it was just the strength and tenacity of We Stomp on LAN to really flex around their hero pool here and deal with whatever Band, by the way, threw at them. And especially going up against a GOATS team for the most part. That can be tough to deal with sometimes.
Yeah, and specifically, you have to give credit to We Stomp on LAN. They probably practiced during the whole week against GOATS compositions, and it was noted they were doing fantastic job against GOATS, even in Nepal Village, where GOATS is such a powerful composition because it's just a point, and all you have to do as the enemy team is just deal damage and heal your tanks. They managed to I want to say just outskill Bam, by the way, and that's just how they made it to the finals. And in regards to our other game that's actually happening live right now, Microsoft Excelsior is up 2-0 against Click for Heads. So again, Click for Heads are fighting to stay alive, trying to maintain their season and trying to reach that finals. So it looks like they are going to be going to Kings Row. So any final thoughts, MrAlan, between Bam, by the way, and We Stomp on LAN?
Oh, not many. I don't want to take up too much more time because they may be going into a potential final last map there. So we may as well wrap up here. We Stomp on LAN making their way. The first seed there, maybe going up against another #1 seed of Microsoft Excelsior. But of course, make sure to check out their other game. Give those players and casters some love. But in the meantime, we'll see you all tomorrow for the grand finals. approximately at 8 p.m. tomorrow EST. But of course, stay tuned to the Discord for all your particular informations and discussion for the Owlet tournament. For tonight, I am MrAlan. Along with me is Leo. And of course, Direboyd. Ooh, the man pressing the buttons, the omnipresent man himself. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.